There are just so many food centers in Singapore, and one of the ways, as we head up here, that people in Singapore decide whether the food is good is by looking at the queue. If there is a long queue, then the food must be good, right? Because why would people spend time in the queue if the food isn't good, right? I don't know. So how do we find out? Well, lucky for you, we have a new video, a new series on my channel called Worth the Queue, where I will go in the queue, I will line up for you, and I will eat the food, and I will find out whether the food is worth the queue. So, if you want to know whether this queue, or this queue, or this queue, or even that queue is worth the queue, worth your time to queue, there's only one way. That is to watch this video, and together we will find out whether this place is worth the queue. So join me after the intro. Worth the queue, worth the queue. Is it worth the queue? Worth the queue, worth the queue. Is it worth the queue? I think so. I don't know. Maybe. Yes, no. I don't know. Worth the queue. And so we are back at Chinatown Complex Food Centre. And in this row, previously, there was a shop that sells delicious Singapore traditional soups. But unfortunately, I don't know what happened. Either the shop is gone or the soup is no longer good. So, used to have long queue, now nobody queues. But we're going to start at our queue adventure with chendol or dessert first. At this store called Old Chendol. And this place here, the queue here is slightly different because chendol is a dessert item. So the queue will not form early during lunch. So if you come here during early lunch, there's nobody in the queue. But if you come later, slightly later, towards the middle or the end of lunch, and this place here, there is a queue. Because first of all, this chendol here only costs you $2. Even though the portion size is a bit small, but very cheap. And in hot tropical weathers, a nice ice cold dessert is always welcome. So what you have here, you have shaved ice, then you have this jelly with pandan flavors inside on top there, green wormy jellies, and then you have nice, a bit savory azuki beans paste, and all held together with coconut milk and the secret ingredient, which is gula melaka, or palm sugar. And this palm sugar here helps to make this dish, this item, this dessert very, very delicious, because it's nice, very fragrant and delicious. So if you do come here, you craving for some dessert to cool down, this is worth the queue. And let's just keep walking, looking for the next queue. The next queue is just in the next row, which is over here. And in here, there's a queue, a place with a long queue, always from lunchtime, the whole of lunchtime. And the name of the shop is called New Market Seafood Soup. And here, what they specialize in is seafood soup. So, what we're going to try here? Of course, seafood soup. But, like I said, the queue here is medium. It's quite long, especially if you come here during peak hour lunchtime, because this soup here is nice and affordable and generous too. Like here, for $4, this bowl of soup, you get fish slice soup, you get generous amount of vegetables, and also minced meatballs, which they make it themselves. And the soup here is also super flavorful and delicious. And of course, the name of the shop is called New Market Seafood Soup. So we must try seafood soup here too, right? So this is the seafood soup. Also, only $4. Yes, that's why this place is popular. Only $4 for a bowl of seafood soup, and the soup is good, nice, flavorful, clean, clear tasting. But you can tell they actually extract all the flavors out of all the fish bones and the meat they put inside there. And look at this. For the seafood soup, you also get prawns and also clams inside there. but you get less minced meat but still a very good, very delicious seafood soup. So what happens is, normally you get in the queue. Once you reach the front there, you place your order, and then you tell them your seat number, and then when your dish is ready, they will send the soup to you. But still, so if you do like seafood soup, cheap, affordable, nice, clean tasting, delicious seafood soup, then this place is also worth the queue. And now let's head for our next queue, and we will walk further down. Okay, not here. We already walked through this part here already, so we're going to continue walking more. And if we head further down here, we're going to look for another remote corner of this food center. And right at this corner here, it doesn't seem like there's much of a queue, but once you reach the other side of the corner, you can see there's actually a queue for this place. And this place sells one of Singaporean's favorite dish called fried kway teow. And the name of the stall is Hill Street Fried Kway Teow. And here, like I said, they sell fried kway teow. This store here, when I first came to this place here, there wasn't much of a queue. Not many people knew about this, but slowly and slowly more people tasted the food and started to come here more often, and now there is a queue, especially during lunchtime. And this queue here is slightly different because they actually fry the dish individually. So if you order the plate, they'll start frying it for you. So because of that, it takes a while for them to clear the queue. So even though the queue doesn't look very long, but it takes quite a while to clear. But what they sell here, like I said, is fried kway teow, the Singaporean style fried kway teow. It looks dry, but when you bite into it, it's nice, moist, soft, delicious, slurpy noodles. Very nice, very delicious. Savory noodles, cooked very well, eggy, a bit garlicky, spicy and sweet. But what's good here is that there's a very nice, prominent pork lard flavor. And you see here, they also put in lap cheong or Chinese sausages in here. So when you bite into one of those, you also get another explosion of flavor. So what I really like here is the flavors of this fried kway teow. They do it very well and very delicious, and a good plate of fried kway teow. And if you are willing to join the queue, then you will know you get cheap fried kway teow and also delicious fried kway teow. And as we continue walking from the yellow zone to the blue zone across this bridge, we are now heading towards another queue that we have to join and see and find and eat. And you can notice this very nice bright red sign which says Baba's Peranakan. And here is where we're going to eat our next food item. And here the queue is short because even though there's a queue forming, the people or the queue clears very fast. So that's one thing good about this queue here. And here what they sell is something like mixed rice but with Peranakan flavors. So all the ingredients here has a lot of Peranakan flavors. And here is a very popular item, popular place. Lunchtime, lots of people will queue up, and a lot of people either eat here or take away. And one thing about this queue is the queue, like I said, clears very fast, but the stall, the food items, also clears very fast. So I was actually at this queue here at around 12 p.m. and already half of the items was already sold out already. So if you do want to come here, you may have to come earlier to get better choice of food items to eat with your rice. So what I did here, I ordered a few items here, which cost me $4.50, which was some curried vegetables, where they did very well. The flavors actually penetrate into the vegetables. Then you had their sambal goreng, which is a mixture of like long bean, potato, tempeh. The flavors here on point, taste very delicious. But what I was surprised of was actually the chicken. The chicken here fried very well, still warm, crispy on the outside, moist, juicy, flavorful on the inside. Done very well. And then to help everything, to blend the meal together, they pour in their chicken curry on top of everything, which was lemak, flavorful, full of flavor, delicious. And something that is definitely worth the queue. And up next, I'm going to introduce you to another different type of queue. A queue that is not obvious. Yes, not obvious, because what happens is, you'll go to the store, you look around, you say, hey, there's no queue. Okay, then you take a seat, place your order, then you realize the people in the queue are actually the people sitting around you. Yes, so this place, the queue is not obvious, but there's also a queue because there's a long waiting time. Yes, the waiting time of some of these places could be quite long. And one of these places is this place here called Liang He Benji Claypot. And here they sell Claypot chicken rice. A very interesting and very delicious dish. And you can see they are cooking it over here. So what happens is, you come here, place your order, then they will tell you, ask you for your table number. Then you sit down, wait for the food to come to you. And then this place, like I said, doesn't look like there's a queue. That's because all the people around you are actually all your queue mates. So what happens is, this place here, what makes the queue long, or this place queue worthy, is because each clay pot takes 20 minutes to cook. So from start to finish. So what happens is, they will start to cook the rice, and some way through the cooking process, they will put in all the ingredients on top of the rice, and all these things all will be cooked in this clay pot. And while it's cooking further, all the juices, all the flavors from the toppings will slowly seep into the rice and flavor this delicious dish. And because of that, minimum to cook one clay pot takes you around 20 minutes. And so the queue will at least be 20 minutes waiting time. And then depending on the amount of people in front of you, like I said, long waiting time for your food. So even though this place doesn't seem to have a queue, your waiting time could take quite a long time, 20 minutes and more. And if you come here during the weekend dinner rush, you may have to wait even an hour to 2 before you can get your Claypot rice. And that's why this place here has a queue, which is not obvious. But this place here, they do make their Claypot rice very well, as you can see here. First of all, the chicken here seasoned very nicely. The seasoning penetrates into the chicken. The chicken nice, soft, tender, flavorful chicken, and something that is really good. And other than that, they are very generous with the amount of ingredients they put on top of their Claypot rice. You have the Chinese sausage or lap chop, you also have the beaver sausage, you also have the salted fish, and you also have the wax pork. All these different ingredients actually adds in lots of flavor into the Claypot rice and makes this Claypot rice really good, really delicious. But what thing about this Claypot rice which is actually my preference, or something that I would prefer, is the texture of the rice. Here somehow the texture of the rice doesn't have the nice white texture that I like from Claypot rice. But other than that, lots of delicious ingredients, very flavorful and very delicious Claypot rice. And if you come here, as long as it's not during the peak period, you will enjoy yourself without too long a wait. And so this brings us to the end of our episode 2 of our Worth the Queue episode. And this one is for Chinatown Complex Food Center, and I've shown you many queues in this episode, and I've told you whether it's worth the queue. And so, if you want to know more, well, episode 3 is coming up next. Well, you see, when you have episodes and you are using numbers to number them, normally it goes in sequence. Just a tip for you. And For those of you who want to know more, tune in for our next episode. And lastly, but the most important thing, what you need to do, well, there are a few things. First of all, you need to like my video, click the thumbs up button, share my video, tell all your friends about it, and subscribe to my channel. And also click the bell icon. Even though sometimes even you do that, they don't inform you about my videos. I don't know. YouTube, what are you gonna do? And oh yeah, I got Patreon now. So if you do want to support me, every little bit helps. Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end. I will see you next time. Bye bye.